So, the VM. The VM is basically just a stack of instructions that we want to execute. One after another, kind of not. And essentially, we will just take our list of instructions that we generated via the code gen phase. And we will essentially just be looping over them to execute them. Now I'll show you how. So I'm just gonna prepare some of these variables. I don't know, does C++ have a stack? I think it does. So we can we need a std stack of std map std string value, and this is gonna be our scopes. Whoops. And we also need an std stack of value for a stack. And we also want, keep it simple for now, std string of, can I do function? This is going to return a value, and it's going to take an std vector of values as input. And they're going to be a list of like built-in functions that we can execute if we want. And to execute the VM, we'll first push a scope, and then we'll essentially, well, I'll say void, maybe we execute and pass in the instructions we want to execute. Then, okay. So, a couple of other functions I want here first. Push scope. Yeah, and that's literally just going to do this. And we're going to do void pop scope as well. Push var. String name value. Yes, I think that's right. And then we're going to do a pop bar, scopes top arrays. Great. I think actually it's right. Alter var. Then erase it and return it. Then we're going to want a value get var. Okay, so maybe we'll actually pass our instructions in here in the constructor instead. Probably makes more sense. And our execute function. Now essentially, in our execute function, all we're doing is, like this says here, while program counter is small in code and size, we're just going to keep, essentially, just keep iterating basically and keep going. So we'll essentially PC++, think around the counter, and this is actually a good idea. Maybe. In my previous version of C++1, C#, sorry, I call this, and we'd essentially pass it in, although we do have the opcode. So we could do a switch. We could do a switch. Maybe we'll do the switch. But like I was saying, if we're also in our code gen here, if we are making these custom classes, there might not be nothing wrong with just putting an execute function on here. It might be a little bit slower though. I don't know if we should worry about that. Maybe we'll just do the switch for now. I guess for now we'll just straight up instruction the op, and excuse me, we'll just begin implementing these, I guess. So here, we want to push our, okay, if it's a low const, then orange equals static cast. Yeah, that's right. And our value, yeah. So we just push our value onto the stack. Load var is very similar. And you just have the name. So here we're gonna just get var instruction.name and then stack push. What is that generated for us? Store var. We should be this should be popping from our stack. Okay, that just removes. Do we have to do top and then pop? Oh, it was already down there. Sorry, completely blind. So yeah, we'll take our top value, we'll pop it, and then we'll push the variable with its value, which should be an instance of value. Yeah, that's correct. Now math operations, they get a little bit more complicated. Let me take this to save us writing it. So we'll just allow those to fall through. I'm assuming C++ will allow me to do that. So right and left, yep, that's correct. Now, did we make a... We didn't. It should be fine, actually. So, essentially here, we kind of want to just switch on our opcode. And let's just take that for a second. And here, for example, left is... Okay. So what we could do here is we could add operator overloads for like plus and stuff like that on our on here. And we obviously got to deal with casting and stuff as well. Like maybe you can convert bool to an int to be able to do math on it. But let's not worry about that right now. So if we do value operator plus, yes. Yeah, this is basically what we want. So if, yeah, if our current one is an int and our other is an int, then we can return a new value of type int. So we do what as int plus other as int. I actually prefer to do this. Otherwise, what do we do? I mean, yeah. And now we can do the same for these other operators. Let's just let the AI complete them. Now we're able to do these, and now we need a way to do equals. I think we can actually generate that. Equality operators. Let's just use this for now. Okay, now greater than and less than. Can we overload those? Let's done these ones. There's a lot of repetition here. I'm noticing that, but it kind of is what it is for right now. There's probably better ways you could do this. But at least we can allow for like the reusability of this kind of logic with our values and stuff. Can we do... We do not equals on this one too. And then maybe we can just return the inverse of that one. Cool. And then for our default case, now let me just check something real quick, my ID, because this is kind of triggering me. Yes. It is what I want. Oh. God damn it. Why have I messed up here? There we go. Okay, so That's all of those ones. And we have our a function call upgrade as well. Which how does this look? Instruction num args stack.top. And then yes. Now we have two other opcodes we also have to do. I don't think we've used them yet. Oh, sorry, four other ones. These ones are quite necessary too. Code jump. Program counter equals. Hold on. We might actually have to add these. I don't think we're using them yet, but we probably should have. Actually, I will leave these ones for now because don't actually need them for what we're doing now, and we're kind of going in phases. This one. Now, in theory, if we go to our main, and this takes a vector of, oh, and then execute. There's also one other thing we need to quickly do. Register functions. Just gonna put this down at the bottom here. Real quick, what did I do here before? So we got a list of args. And essentially, wrong here. It needs to return value, doesn't it? For our args, I think this is right. Yep. So now in theory, it should work, unless we forgot something. Okay, we messed something up. So here, our instruction is null. Interesting. Oh wait, instruction arg. Well, that's a big scuff. Okay, why didn't that error trigger? Okay, so what did we end up with here? We wanted to print x equals 10. For some reason they're in reverse. Yes, I remember. Why? Wait, did we check something? Ah, we need to insert them at the front. Can I do insert 0? Stack top? Hold on. Ah, here we go. Nice. So we'll also remove the extra space. Do that itself in the print function, right? Yeah, so x equals 10, y equals 20, x plus y equals 30. So our variables and such are actually working here. And really, I mean, I think for everything we set out to do at the start here for a baseline is, I think, complete unless we've missed something, but I'm not sure if we have. Have a look in parser. We could obviously do some cleaning up here, like things like this. I don't know why we're getting these errors, or warnings even. And we have a basic function call working, right? We have our variables. We could quickly test if our group expressions work. They should do. I don't see why not. Yep. And then like from here, what we do now is we can add more features, and you kind of just go through the layers like we're done building this up. But first you need this kind of framework to even get to that point and begin building these new things on. So like to show you guys with my other version here, which I kind of hacked together, we have these structs. I should probably zoom this in a little bit for you. We have these structs we can use. We can do math on the fields on those. We can assign the fields. We got our if-else statements here. Good old C-style for loops, and then like Go style, just regular while loops. And it all just kind of works, and it's pretty fast too. So like here, like 1,000 iterations, we in debug mode, we are. So yeah, like for our for loops, we can do these loops pretty quick. So I think our next goal here for our version, we probably want to implement our for loops and our if statements. I guess we start with the if statements because they involve the jumps that I was going to add before. We'll do our if statements, we'll do the for loops, and then we'll implement some functions. And then maybe we'll do the structs, because there's a few different ways we could do those. I think before we do any of that, ideally, I want to improve the our value, because this way of handling these values is not great. I'm pretty sure we can use can't remember the proper term, tagged unions or unions, whatever they're called, and like store the value that way. I think they'd be a little bit better, because I'm pretty sure this is doing allocations as well, which isn't great. So yeah, maybe we'll fix that up. We'll do our risk statements, do the for loops, and yes, I think that'll be a nice place. But I hope you guys are enjoying this little series, and totally unedited, so I apologize for that. But yes, farewell.